Hello, everyone. My name is Gary Cookson. I've been working in a hybrid way now for over 20 years, advising individuals, leading teams, and helping organizations to deliver their services in a hybrid way. In 2022, I wrote a book, HR for Hybrid Working, which brought together all of my thinking, experiences, mistakes, and successes around hybrid working. In this short video, I'm going to tell you exactly why hybrid working is essential for the modern organization and what we need to do about some of the things surrounding it. We're in what we might call the new normal, but that's a phrase, of course, that divides opinion. Some people feel it describes our situation very, very well, but other people, they've tired of it. They consider it a cliche. I'm probably in that latter group as well. But the pandemic that we went through a couple of years ago brought with it some long-term significant changes to the way we live, the way we work, and therefore to the way people, professionals like us, need to act. The ways of working that we adopted in a hurry a few years ago, they're still with us. People working remotely, people working in a hybrid way, and other people still working where they always used to. But the world we created then is mostly still the reality for many and will continue to be for a long, long time. Now, it is one that has significant advantages and disadvantages in perhaps equal measure. Buffer do a state of remote working report every single year. And in 2021, they said the top advantages of remote working were, in order, the ability to have a flexible schedule, the ability to work from anywhere, having no commute, and the ability to spend time with your family. But they also listed the top four disadvantages in order: not being able to unplug, difficulty collaborating with people, loneliness, and distractions at home. And now it doesn't take a rocket scientist to notice that those are two sides of the same coin. It's all very well being able to spend time with your family, but they distract you at home. It's all very well not having a commute and the ability to work from anywhere, but then you might get lonely and not collaborate easy with people. And it's all very well having a flexible schedule, but then you might have difficulties unplugging. So we were plunged, weren't we, into this new normal. Has some advantages, also disadvantages, but the enforced nature of it over the last few years during lockdowns in particular meant that we didn't really appreciate remote working for what it could be, for what it used to be, and for what it should be in the future, I think. But what it did do is force many people, many organizations to confront some previous wrongly held, long standing truths about the world of work. Things like that the best way of working is done in 5 shifts of 8 hours. Well, that isn't true anymore. That the optimum working week is around 40 hours a week to get done what you need to. That isn't true anymore. That we need to live close enough to our place of work to get there on any given day. That clearly isn't true anymore. And that work has to be done in one physical space, in one location, and that's not true either. But there is no one size fits all definition of hybrid working, and organizational context is quite important. Some businesses, they don't have a choice around remote and hybrid working, and that means some individuals don't either. There's always going to be work that needs carrying out face to face, and there'll always be individual preferences about ways of working too. But it isn't really a binary choice. There are lots of different options to consider about hybrid working, and an individualized approach, even down to individual tasks, is going to prove a more workable solution for many. Teams are going to benefit as a result of that. If it's given the right amount of thought and planning, then collaboration is going to naturally occur at more appropriate points. If we consciously design opportunities for people to work together, whether that's virtually or face to face, it's going to strengthen team relationships. Teams are going to be more likely then to develop more streamlined ways of working and decision making and communicating and support each other in more effective ways. And all of those things, that's going to help productivity and performance. And that means our organizations benefit. We're going to have saving on office space, travel costs, and investments in and improvements in most employee related measures as a result of things like engagement and absence and turnover being affected by this. So the organization itself is going to be seen much more as an employer of choice, as well as a more responsible and sustainable organization within our wider communities. But it isn't without challenges, is it? Most of the challenges, I think, surround making it work. In theory, hybrid working is a really sound idea, but the devil is in the detail. But if we didn't realize some of the benefits that we've mentioned here, it's going to make some parties quite unhappy. And that's going to have a consequential effect on organizational performance and naturally on the economy in general then. If we didn't do hybrid working, or if we didn't do it properly, that could have negative effects on individual health and well-being, and that could lead to strains on public health resources. The COVID-19 pandemic showed us that we've got opportunities as well to change what we use public transport for and what we use our towns and cities for. So if we didn't do hybrid working properly, that'd prevent us fully realizing some of the potential changes we could bring to our local communities. Now, one of the main lessons that we learned during the pandemic was that the switch to remote working wasn't as simple as just replicating what you did in the office virtually. So we can therefore safely say that hybrid working is not about somehow trying to merge the remote and the face to face worlds together, despite what the label might suggest. It's about something different, more conscious, more deliberate, something that changes both remote and face to face experiences of work into something greater than the sum of its parts, something better than either are individually. People do, though, need some level of face to face interaction. In some cases, they even crave it. And full time remote working appears to be something that isn't too attractive to many people. So, our people practices have got to operate across the three different types of working situations that we're going to have in the future: fully remote, fully face to face, and hybrid. Now, that comes with challenges, like we've mentioned. And we can't have a fixed mindset of what a workplace is, whether that's remote or in the office. It's not a good thing. And we've got to have a range of different types of spaces to be capable of different types of work being done there. Because work isn't just definable by where it takes place, or indeed when, but by the type of work being done. It could be synchronous alongside other people in real time, or asynchronous alone and done at a time that others may not be. Physical workplace has got to be quite different. It can no longer be about banks and rows of desks, cubicles, and the odd meeting room. The balance of those things has really got to change to allow for these different types of working. Different types of spaces are going to be needed. Conscious choices need to be made, and the delivery of all of this is way much more than simply asking people to work some days there and some days there. It needs other teams beyond the people team involved as well. The way we approach workplaces has to be ultra flexible, tailorable to the needs of the individual, not just the way they need to work, but what they're actually doing at the time. And that will mean that hybrid working is not and could never be the same for everyone.